It's time to finish the job and finish the job with class.
100 minutes to kickoff in the season's most significant game so far.
GameDay is presented by Discover Card, proud sponsor of college football's premier pregame show.
The huge crowd swells outside the old horseshoe on the banks of the old Tangi. A classic confrontation. Michigan, Ohio State. The stakes have rarely been higher. The spirits have rarely been higher here in Columbus. Good morning and welcome to College Game Day. Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit. This is going to be a lot of fun. The Hawkeyes are watching. So are the Sooners and the Cougars and the Irish and the Bulldogs. The nation watching this game here today. Kirk, I don't know if anybody here slept last night. I don't know if you slept last night.
No, I think people have been waiting for this all week long. This is, you look at the weekend, college football rivalry weekend. I think you have to categorize this weekend. This is a rivalry about respect on the field, but out here it's about hatred. The fans can't stand each other. But remember, on the field, when you're a player in this game, it's about class. These teams will battle. It'll be the most intense game they play all year, the hardest hitting game that they play all year. And the thing to remember for Ohio State players and Michigan players, you're always remembered for how you play in this game.
Well, you know, Kirk, as a Big Ten football coach, I always remember this ball game for Woody versus Bo, the epic battle of the teacher against the pupil. Those two strong-willed personalities, they overshadowed the players in this game. They were that big.
Those guys built this rivalry to what it is today, but you can see the coaching lineage in today's matchup. Lloyd Carr, schooled by Schembechler on this series for all those years. Jim Tressel learned from Earl Bruce, who learned from Woody Hayes. Both those guys had winning records against Michigan, and now Tressel in year 2 can beat Michigan back-to-back. Hasn't been done in 20 years and get them to a title game. But since Bo's second year, you know this, folks, Michigan a history of crushing Buckeye championship dreams.
They run it against those 8 men, and Bianca Batuka finds some space over the left side. Fires on the slant to Streets. His defensive man fell. He's gone! He's gone! 25-20. Touchdown, Michigan!
Can you feel it? The recent past is alive this morning, and it can't be banished by the bravery of a calm new coach. Only a victory can do that. So here stand the Buckeyes after Houdini escape, a heart-stopping overtime win on the road, back on home turf. And the scenario is simple. Ohio State, the first national title shot in 34 years, 60 minutes away. Tostitos Fiesta Bowl in Tempe. But there stands Michigan blocking that path to Tempe with the power to reduce a 12-0 start, in the words of some Buckeyes, to nothing. Whoever flinches fails. But this Buckeye bunch isn't shying away.
This whole year has been a year of career games. You know, it seems like every week we've continued to win, and in such dramatic fashion has been, you know, the biggest game of our career. To win on a 4th and 1, to win in an overtime have been career-defining games, and you know, this is the culmination of all of those games.
Every year, you know, we want to get that one up on them, because I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, just the hatred. Not so much, I wouldn't say player to player, but, you know, just the hatred, you know, for people from Michigan and, you know, people from Ohio. It's wonderful, you know, and bad in the same instance.
You love it when Wilhelm calls this pressure, quote, ideal. None of the Buckeyes are thinking about this recent history of Michigan destroyed Ohio State dreams of conference and national titles. The Wolverines appear bound for the Outback Bowl, win or lose, but motivation's no issue here. And as underdogs for the first time this year, don't label the 9-2 Wolverines spoilers.
We're not going down trying to spoil anything. We win this game, it's a great season for us. A 10-2 season, the Big Ten's a great record. But obviously we have a lot of work to do in order to do that. But we're not going down thinking spoiled. We're going down there thinking let's finish off a great season.
Whether a team was 12-0 or 0-12, we're still going to take as much pride as we want in this game, because we're focused on our goals and what we want to accomplish.
We have our own goals and our own things that we strive for. And, you know, we don't occupy ourselves with what other people are doing. You know, we just kind of keep in control what we can do.
Rooting against Brutus and the Buckeyes today, the Iowa Hawkeyes, who crushed Michigan. They would win the conference title outright if Michigan can knock off Ohio State.
You know, recently the Michigan helmet has been a sign of power over the Buckeyes, much like kryptonite did to Superman. Yeah, it made him But now, Jim Tressel, he did a great job last year. He worked a miracle by beating Michigan in Michigan. Now, from a coach's standpoint, that gives Jim and his staff the blueprint mentally and physically what to do this year. I think no more trial and error. I think they know what to do, how to beat Michigan, and I think that's a tremendous advantage for Jim Tressel.
What was that? That's what they made them do. You're right. I mean, if you go back and you think about the John Cooper era, you know, I was there, I lived it. I think Ohio State as players, they approached the game hoping not to lose, playing not to lose, and I think even coaching not to lose. The win last year was huge for Jim Tressel and for this team. If you've watched the Buckeyes this year, they've been able to focus week to week. In the past, teams and players and fans have worried about Michigan back in September. This year it's been week to week. The thing that everybody's overlooking is this team has survived the road at Illinois, at Purdue. They're coming home to Columbus, and when you come back to Columbus, this team has responded. They play much better when they're at home in front of these fans.
They do. And maybe the first mistake, and they don't feel like this gray sky has fallen on them. Let's talk game plan overview. Both defenses appear to have the edge over the opposing offenses. So how do you play it, Lee? Do you play it cautious or do you play it creative?
Well, from a coach's standpoint, my attitude in a ball game like this one, a big one, was to open up by attacking the opponent at their strength and trying to make them blink. And if I felt I could do that, then my team became proactive and not reactive. So don't be surprised if Old Michigan doesn't attack the Ohio State with the run early and then pass in specials. But get them in the middle first.
If either team tries to attack the strength, we'll have a 3-0 game with 4 first downs. These teams would be crazy to run at each other. They're going to have to throw the football, then go back to the run. The defense of Michigan against the Ohio State offensive line is too big an advantage for Michigan. Ohio State has to throw and vice versa. For Michigan to have any chance at all of running the football, John Navarro's got to throw to set up their run. I disagree with you.
It's okay.
Hey, Lee, I hate to tell you, Kirk and I talked to even Bo last night, and even Bo said maybe open it up.
That's old school.
If Bo says open it up.
He did. If Bo says open up, that's it.
He said that from Florida, didn't he?
No, he was watching the hockey game last night. Meanwhile, Miami, we saw them Thursday night. They're still 2 steps away, 2 wins away at Syracuse and home Virginia Tech from perhaps getting to that Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. We saw them survive a good Pittsburgh team despite 49 offensive plays. They said, their fans, not the players, they said, bring on the Buckeyes. We need to beat by 3 touchdowns. No problem.
Not so fast, my friend. I've seen Miami play 3 times this year, and they're a very good football team. But mark it down, they're not a great football team. I think any one of the top teams that play them in the Fiesta Bowl, including these Buckeyes, will give them all they can handle.
See, And that's great here for the fans. I'm not going to ride this emotional roller coaster with Miami. 2 weeks ago, we watched them, and Lee and I sat there and said, forget about it. That's the best team in college football. Nobody's close to them. Now, a week later, they have a close game against a good Pitt team, and you're saying anybody can play with them.
Any one of the qualified guys.
You got to have a defense, and it didn't hurt Pittsburgh having an athletic quarterback like Rod Rutherford. That was a big factor in that game.
Miami can sit back and watch and scout today. They have nothing at stake. Their place is secure if they get 2 more wins. But national storyline today, a whole bunch of folks are pulling for Michigan. Title contenders facing their own high-stakes showdowns today. BCS 3 Wazoo can clinch at least the Rose Bowl by snapping a 4-year skid against the hated Huskies. The Dogs, meanwhile, they're loose, they're dangerous, they're hunters today and plenty confident. The Sooners can claim defensive redemption and a division title by cooling off Cliff Kingsbury and the Red Raiders, the Big 12 South title game.
And it's over. The Red Raiders have upset the Longhorns.
For Bama, bragging rights and respect will have to replace SEC rings. The Tide can claim form every year outside that bus in the Horseshoe. That game's on ABC. On ESPN2 today, a triple-header. Air Force, Las Vegas Bowl bound. Ole Miss and LSU will hit on that game later. The Terps rolling in with an 8-game win streak, but Virginia quarterback Matt Schnaub has a hot hand. Top-rated passer in the ACC. Maryland looking at their first win in Charlottesville since 1990, where Pam Ward and Chris Spielman set the scene.
2 old rivals are meeting for this.
Beyond 40?
What are you doing? Like I said, you get around the 20, 22. Everybody's kicking field goals. Does Michigan try to go for it? Or do you kick a field goal and give the chance to give the ball back to Ohio State?
Well, one place where field goals are not on folks' mind today is Pullman. The 95th Apple Cup features the Pac-10's top 2 offenses and the career passing leaders at each school. When you figure the guys that Jason Gesser and Cody Pickett have passed, everybody from Moon to Bledsoe, Brunell, Chandler, Heward, Rosenbaugh, Leaf, Jack Thompson, the throw-in Samoan, the throw-in Hawaiian, Gesser, and Cowboy Cody combined have 101 touchdowns and more than 14,000 career yards. They become phone buddies, but not this week. There's just too much at stake. For the Cougs, the Rose Bowl and national title hopes, the Huskies can turn a disastrous season into one that's merely disappointing. Rick Neuweisel and every Husky perfect against Wazoo.
It is a little bit of a role reversal, but, you know, the attitudes haven't changed much. You know, we're just going in there to win, and it doesn't matter what the record is, really. We're just, we have the same mindset of being victorious.
No matter what your record is, you just better strap it on, get ready for this, you know, for the Apple Cup. You know, it's a great rivalry, you know, and, you know, every single year is just, you know, something that you always want to, you definitely want, that's the one game you definitely want to win.
Washington State's great season, and the fact that they've got great postseason opportunities, obviously there's going to be lots of excitement.
Huskies played some good defense last week, but let's face it, it was mostly bad Oregon offense. And you've got a wide receiver, Wilbur Hooks, who learned the defense last week watching tape with safety Greg Carruthers starting at free safety. As LC would say, yo, Wilbur and company have to try to corral a trio of wide receivers at Washington State that have 129 catches and 20 touchdowns between them. The trio took some strange winding paths to start them. An ex-Hoops recruit, a junior college guy who was at 3 different schools in LA, and a transfer from across the continent at Florida State. Let's meet them, shall we?
Who are we? We're tall. We're real tall.
We real, that's league. I'm 6'3".
I'm 6'6". I'm 6'2".
We're not basketball players. We're the Wazoo Wideouts. I'm DeVar Darling.
DeVar Darling on the field, you know what I mean? He's a strong wide receiver. He's fast, he runs by everybody. I mean, I don't know a corner that can keep up with him.
I'm Mike Bush. As soon as he step out on the field, he got an advantage. He's 6'6". And so, you know.
I'm Jerome Riley. One word is smooth.
Overall, the best all-around wide receiver out of all of us. That's what I believe. You know, he got
do his head.
He got the good guys. He got everything. You know, he's just smooth out there, and we run the offense. Without us, the offense won't move. That's the way I feel.
There's no pass that we can't go get, just because, you know what I mean, we have an advantage being taller. Most of the corners we play.
We can throw a jump ball, and whether it's a perfect ball or not, on the fade, they'll go up and make a catch.
Our leaping ability is just natural. It's just athletic ability, just something we was born with.
I really don't know how high I can jump, you know what I mean? I can touch the top of the square on the backboard.
6'6".
I'm probably like 38 inches and stuff like that. But Texas, that's how high I can jump, 38 inches. 38 inches. That's my vertical. 33.
Whatever. I got the most ups out of all of them. So.
Not a very good dunker.
Whatever. I got the most ups.
Please don't.
We're unstoppable. That's how I feel. This trio. You got Bush 6'6". You got Bush 6'6". You have DeVard 6'3", fast, running 4'3". Bush with the ups. Then me, just everything.
And that's who we are.
Now, the Washington folks believe that their trio of wide receivers, of course, Reggie Williams, Charles Frederick, and Paul Arnold, are as good or better. They actually have more catches, 149 catches, more than the Wazoo guys. And you got Kevin Ware as a very good tight end as well. So.
Well, you know, if Washington's going to hang in this football game, they've got to be able to score with Jason Gesser and those Coug wide receivers, which means get the football to Reggie Williams. That's the key in this game. Reggie Williams is coming off a career game. Washington went into Eugene last weekend, and Pickett's been getting it done as a quarterback, but Williams consistent all year, but just a game where he dominated the Oregon secondary. You got to remember one thing about this game. It's not only a rivalry game. Washington State, I think, was a little bit overconfident when they played in the Apple Cup a year ago, and they blew it. They've been waiting a full year for a chance to get back at the Dogs. Washington State at home wins, and wins big today over Washington.
Good pick. You know, Pickett and Williams are two sensational Pac-10 offensive stars. Washington State's Bill Doba, the defensive coordinator, has put in two defenses to try to contain those guys. They're new, but the key guys are number 88, Ryan Long, who was recently named All-American defensive end. He's going to pressure Pickett. Now, Marcus Trufant will man up on Williams the best he can. He's a good-looking athlete. Now, in the past 2 weeks, Washington has won the state championship of Oregon. This game's in Pullman. I agree. State big over the Huskies.
Only mistakes can hurt them. They're superior to the Huskies in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
Revenge is huge.
Yeah, but just can't do that. You got to play loose.
Not at home.
USC and UCLA, the Battle of Los Angeles. Both teams really need a Huskies win to keep rolling.
Against this, it's the offensive line and defensive line. Who controls the line of scrimmage is the key. And it goes down to the running game. Whoever wins the rushing war wins this game, I think.
And I've been saying this game, it's hatred maybe out here, but on the field, it's respect. I think you guys would agree with
me. It is. Absolutely.
All right, Chris, let's go.
Kirk, thank you. These guys have been appreciative of a Big Ten running start.
Run the way you did against Purdue, or are you going to run the way you did against Washington State? He said, I've never been as excited for a game as I am for this one. He's either going to play one play and give it everything he's got, or he's going to have a game where he runs with the same kind of authority that he had when he ran early in the year.
Kirk, this is a first guess, not a second guess, based on a lot of years in coaching, including 10 of them in the Big Ten. I always worried about a skill position player coming back in a big game without being hit. I mean game-type hitting. As we said, Claret, 18 carries in 4 games. That's not enough. I hope the Buckeyes are not hoping that this guy's going to carry him today, because I don't think he'll do it.
He's had some fumbles, but I think
he's very fired up.
His performance, when he ran well, kind of made up for the fact that this offensive line for Ohio State has been a real source of concern, even though the season's 12-0. Your dad calling you. I mean, a lot of these Buckeye fans are worried about it. They don't get the push. They jump offside. Pass protection issues today.
Big issues up front. And I think whether you have Maurice Claret in the game or you don't, because of the offensive line play and because of Michigan's front seven, they're much better than the Ohio State offensive line. The Buckeyes will have to throw. We've been touching on it all show long. Craig Krenzel will have to throw, especially on 1st and 10, to alleviate some of that pressure, and then go back to whether it's Claret, Ross, or Hall. But you're right. Craig Krenzel with that offensive line's got to try to soften that blow.
They say it's their best game of the year, the offensive line. As a coach, you better hope so. If you're an Ohio State fan.
Step up, block somebody.
Hey, guys, the Heisman ballots are in the hands of the voters. Still 3 weekends of games remaining. It is wide, wide open. So we asked some players around the country on Game Day Q&A who they would vote for if they had to vote for the Heisman Trophy today.
It's been such an interesting year for the Heisman. There are so many great caliber athletes.
Byron Leftwich, because he's a good quarterback, and he made some big throws.
Watching that one, those couple plays where his teammates were carrying him down the field, I think that takes a lot of heart.
I like to see Brad Banks get the award. He's a tough player and really goes out there and plays, every Saturday.
I say Larry, definitely. I mean, he's proven that I think he is the kind of running back that the Heisman really stands for.
Here's the Scripps Howard straw poll. Only 10 voters. They're regionally balanced. You see the first place votes. One note about Byron Leftwich. We get word he will not start and perhaps is doubtful even to play for Marshall today at Ohio U. That would really hurt his chances. How do you guys see this? We're going to look at your top four, but give us some guys who are trying to make a late run.
Well, first of all, my vote right now, Ken Dorsey, Miami should win it. Now, let's take a look at a couple of other guys who might be sneaking around the chicken coop. First of all, it's Byron Leftwich. Now, Byron Leftwich not only is a great quarterback, but this shot right here, this ride, watch him. The offensive line picking up. That, ladies and gentlemen, is worth a trip to New York. Just right there. Now, Kingsbury, after a 2-2 start, he's coming on strong. But my friends, he nice touch on this next pass coming up here, Kurt. But I'll tell you what, he's got a big game against those Oklahoma Sooners in Norman, Oklahoma. Now we'll see, my friends.
Kingsbury's got a great opportunity, but Leftwich isn't sneaking around the coop. Whether he plays or not today or not, he's been around for a long time. You look at this Heisman Trophy race, I really have given up weeks ago on trying to figure it out. Nobody's emerged. Each week I try to give a guy and think about, well, especially with Ken Dorsey, he's winning, and then he struggled last night. And Brad Banks, the more I look at it, the more I think about what he did. He led the nation in passing efficiency, 25 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. The Iowa Hawkeyes are playing as well as anybody in the country. I think Brad Banks right now is the front runner. The problem is he's in the clubhouse while all these other guys are going to be playing. Brad Banks is done, and that could hurt his chances.
Last year, Crouch won the Heisman on 2nd and 3rd place votes. Edged out Grossman. That could happen this year. Will Dorsey be in a lot of 2nd or 3rd place ballots if they don't vote him number 1? Yeah. That's the key question.
Could be a career.
Coming up, we'll talk about the play. It's been 20 years since Cal shocked Stanford to play unfolding, just like Drew Cap drew it up.
The brilliant thing about the coaching that took place was that you know how hard it is to get a Stanford trombone player to be at the right place at the right time?
Bowman, who's playing with a rod in his leg and wants it so bad today, but it's pretty unusual to go the other way. There's only one Michigan native on Ohio State, and that is quarterback Craig Krenzel. Every time this year they needed a big play. The throws against Wisconsin, Purdue, the scrambles against Illinois. Krenzel has come up huge. In his first career start, he beat Michigan. Can he go 2-0 today? Here's Mark Schwartz on the atypical roots of the Buckeyes hero.
Some of the greatest Buckeyes were born and bred in the shadow of the horseshoe. Heisman winners Hopalong Cassidy and Archie Griffin, both raised in Columbus, as was Terry Glenn, Keith Byers, Orlando Pace, Chris Carter, Chris Spielman, all natives of the Buckeye State. But this year's quarterback, Craig Krenzel, is from a place that makes Buckeyes fans skin crawl, Michigan. Michigan?
Do you realize you're the only player from the state of Michigan on this entire roster?
Yeah, I mean, I know that, but that doesn't really mean anything. We had another one, but he transferred, so.
If somebody's meeting him for the first time, I always tell them, ask him what state he's from. You know, and everybody gives him a little grin. But, you know, it's just funny that, and ironic that he's from that state.
You know, everyone's from all over the country, but you never realize exactly where they're from, and you never really think about that. But maybe we should be checking his sleeves for things.
When you say you're from Michigan, that freshman year in camp, and you got to say where you're from, and it's from Michigan, you get a kind of double, like, what's this guy about?
Craig Krenzel strikes, holy Buckeye!
I couldn't imagine growing up 30 miles away from Columbus and going to Ann Arbor. I don't think I'd ever be able to return home.
This is like Joe Pesci in the movie My Cousin Vinny, a New York lawyer trying to win in an Alabama court. I mean, what chance does a kid from Utica, Michigan have here in Columbus? Not to mention the kinds of reactions he gets from the folks back home.
I've seen the hate mail he's getting, too, from guys from Michigan. But I'm glad to have him. I'm glad we stole him.
Has he shared the hate mail with you guys?
Yeah, we were laughing at one yesterday. It was pretty funny.
What did it say?
I can't tell you. I mean, this is a family show.
Krenzel grew up just an hour from Ann Arbor, but his favorite teams were Notre Dame and Tennessee. When it came time to choose a school, it came down to Michigan and Ohio State. Krenzel says the choice wasn't that difficult.
I think one of the bigger things, I kind of wanted to go away for school. And, you know, just at the time I felt, you know, like I fit in better at Ohio State.
Drew Henson was there at the time, and, you know, it was close to locking up the starting position, you know, and it was only a sophomore. So I think his best bet, you know, to play college football at a high level was to come here to Ohio State.
Being from Michigan, you know, I've had no problems down here at Ohio State. I've actually, you know, people always tell me how glad they are to see a Michigan player come down here and play.
Of course, when you're sorting through hate mail, a word of encouragement never hurts.
Can Krenzel step it up one more time today, Kirk, against a Michigan defense that leads the Big Ten with 36 sacks? What's his approach?
Well, first, I think if Ohio State wants to go back to their bread and butter and running the football, Craig Krenzel in the passing game is the key. Michigan has a clear advantage up front. If Ohio State wants to run, they've got to be able to throw early in the game to try to slow down this Michigan defensive line. Because think about pass protection being a key. Last week against Illinois, after Illinois scored, Ohio State had an opportunity here. And look at the pass protection against the blitz. The backs pick up the blitzing linebackers and safeties, and Craig Krenzel actually has time to throw a football. And when he has time to throw, there's Michael Jenkins. He's made the plays in one-on-one coverage. Marlon Jackson from Michigan will cover him. Will he have an opportunity to go up and make plays for Ohio State? Will it be typical Ohio State close to the vest, or will they open it up and kind of go against the tendencies? I think it's the latter. I think you'll see Ohio State throw to set up the run, and that'll be a big key in this game.
Now, after Michigan established the running game, then watch them attack the two-deep Ohio State zone right up the middle. And the key receiver there is Benny Japru. Now, Benny, number 83 against Illinois. Watch the focus and concentration now there. Now, besides offense and defense and special teams, old Michigan's got a secret weapon. Listen to this one, Kirk. Lloyd Carr is 6-0 versus top 5 teams. Listen to this one, Kirk. Lloyd Carr is 3-0 against teams he's beaten when they were ranked number 2. Ohio State is number 2.
He's pretty good at revenge games, and they've lost the previous year, if you want to throw a stat out there. I got a very important name for you guys today, all right?
Yeah.
Sam Gemetro.
Who?
Sam Gemetro. He's the senior sousaphone player who will dot the I in Script, Ohio, the Michigan game. Imagine the excitement for him.
That's good.
All right, we're going to come back. These folks have waited a long time for this game and for these predictions. Can Ohio State get it done? Sam's on stage, ready for action. Predictions are straight ahead.
On the show, presented by Discover Card. It pays to discover.
And welcome back. Jay and Tyke, the Herb Street Twins have gathered. We'll start with an easy one, fellas, okay? Rutgers and Notre Dame. What do you think?
Well, Rutgers has been hanging around, Lee, but at Notre Dame, they're on their way out to USC. I like them today. What do you think?
Jake likes Notre Dame, too. He always liked the Catholics. Oh, Jake does.
These guys are Notre Dame should beat Rutgers. Time now for this big game. It's been a build-up all season long. You know the recent history. Who wins? Does Michigan come in, and they don't want to be called spoilers, but do they send these folks home with broken hearts, including these two young guys? Or does this dramatic Script, Ohio end with perfect punctuation and a 13th consecutive victory? What do you think, Kirk?
Well, I know Lee doesn't want me to get serious here. We got the guys, but I got to say this. I think that on the road, Ohio State has struggled. They've lost a lot of style points. And a lot of people around the country have said Ohio State's going to be exposed against Michigan. People are underestimating one very important factor. Coming back home, Ohio State plays very differently, and playing in Ohio State will lead Ohio State to a victory over Michigan and a berth in a Tostitos Fiesta Bowl for the national title.
And remember one thing, Jake and I are undefeated. We picked Ohio State the last time we were here. All right, give me that thing.
And here comes Brutus.
There's Brutus. There's Brutus.
The Buckeyes have taken the field inside the old horseshoe. The faithful here in a frenzy. ABC Sports has this game. ESPN Football has more Big Ten action as well. It's the battle for the axe. Whatever game you're watching, enjoy it. We'll see you on later today from Columbus. It's been a blast.
Kansas State's L. Roberson looks to outduel Missouri's fabulous freshman, Brad Smith. In the ACC, FSU is 1 win away from an 8th perfect conference campaign. And out in the Pac-10, USC hopes to keep their BCS dream alive as they battle their crosstown enemy, UCLA. The pressure reaches a boiling point next on ABC. sports. And there are rivalries, and then you have Michigan, Ohio State. Lloyd Carr and Jim Tressel know all about it. Win this game, and it goes a long way to your job security. This is the ABC College Football Speed Pass update. John Saunders and Terry Bowden. This, of course, is a big game every year. Even bigger this year because the Ohio State Buckeyes win it. They're headed to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl with a chance to play for the national championship. But since they won their last title in '68, this is the 6th time they've had a chance to win a title, and Michigan has ruined the season every time. It happened to John Cooper 3 times, even Woody Hayes a couple of times.
Yes, John, but as a coach, I tell my player history has nothing to do with the outcome of this game. This is the Jim Tressel era, and they are 1-0 against Michigan under Jim Tressel.
And that was on the road, so this one is coming up. Again, it is an unbelievable week of college football made even bigger as Maurice Clarett and the Buckeyes hope to take on Michigan.
This ABC College Football Update brought to you by Speed Pass, today's way to pay at Exxon and Mobil.